All right, here we are. We're in Act 3, Scene 2. And this is right after the scene where Romeo has to run away because he has killed Tybalt, who has killed Mercutio. And the whole town is up in arms, and Romeo has been banished or exiled from the town of Verona. Okay, so we are now going to jump to what was happening at Juliet's house during this time. Juliet was waiting for him to arrive because by the time it gets to be dark, she's expecting Romeo to show up. She's very excited about that because she doesn't know anything that just happened.
Okay.
Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, towards Phoebus' lodging with such a wagoner as Phaethon? Phaethon?
Phaeton, I think. It's
Phaeton?
Phaeton. Well, actually, you know those double
Phaeton?
letters like that, you'd go with the second one as a long letter. I don't know.
Phaeton
That's a
would
good
whip
lookup.
you to the west, and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy close curtain, love-performing night, that runaways' eyes may wink, and Romeo leap to these arms, untalked of and unseen. Come night, come Romeo, come thou day and night, for thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow on a raven's back. Come, gentle night, come, loving, black-browed night, give me my Romeo, and when he shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with the night, and pay no worship to the garish sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of a love, but not possessed it, and though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. So tedious is this day, as is the night before some festivals to an impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. Oh, here comes my nurse, and she brings news, and every tongue that speaks but Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquence.
Okay, and before the big mood change, because it's about to change in a big way, let's talk about this a little bit. Juliet is waiting for it to be nighttime. She's waiting for sunset. So Phaeton would try to get the wagon carrying the sun to the west and get the sun to set, so it could be love performing night. The darkness that's going to cover his entrance into her home so that they can be husband and wife together. And she says this weird line that is a little bit hard to interpret. Give me my Romeo, and when he shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. Once again, he's so beautiful that cut up into little pieces, the parts of him would be so bright they'd be like stars in the sky.
Yeah.
Weird and kind of
he
morbid.
had done the same star plucking and star putting.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, so I think that in Shakespeare, Shakespeare's time would have seemed a lot more pretty than it does in our time. It just sounds a little weird. Yeah. So anyway, but she does. It's about him being beautiful and the just wishing to see him. And then she says the stuff about having bought the mansion of a love and not possessed it. So she's like, she's sold. She's in it. Okay, she's married, but she hasn't actually experienced it yet. And now that kind of indicates she's a little bit scared and nervous. She's a young girl, and she's jumped right into marriage, probably hurried beyond what she should have because she knows that her parents are in a hurry with her as well. And so she's jumping into something that she's a little bit over her head in. And though she's excited to see Romeo, she's also just a little bit scared, but impatient, like it's a holiday and she gets to wear a new outfit. And that's one of the things that she talks about. She talks about it being an impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. And then the nurse shows up to interrupt her thoughts on this.
Now, nurse, what news? Ay me, what news? Why dost thou wring thy hands?
Oh, well a day. Dead, dead, dead. We are undone, lady. We are undone. Alack the day. Gone. Killed. Dead.
So, of course, Juliet immediately thinks, she's just come back and all news is supposed to be about Romeo. And Romeo's, what? Is he dead?
Can heaven be so envious?
Romeo can, though heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo, Romeo, whoever would have thought it? Romeo!
What devil art thou that dost torment me thus? This torture should be roared in dismal hell. Hath Romeo slain himself? If he be slain, say aye, or if not, no. Brief sounds determine if of my weal or woe.
I saw the wound. I saw it with mine eyes. God save the mark. Here on his manly breast, a piteous corse, a bloody piteous corse. Oh, pale, pale as ashes, all bedaubed in blood, all in gore blood. I swooned at the sight.
All right, so the nurse isn't listening to Juliet, but she's just been traumatized. She just saw a dead body. It wasn't Romeo, but she's not saying, no, Romeo's not dead. She's saying, he's dead. And she's totally talking about Tybalt. Yeah.
Oh, break my heart, poor bankrupt, break at once. To prison eyes ne'er look on liberty, vile earth to earth resign. End motion here, and thou and Romeo press one heavy bier.
So, and the nurse doesn't even pay attention to that. That's Juliet saying, I should just die with Romeo because he's dead. And then the nurse and her wailing about.
Oh, Tybalt, the best friend I had. Oh, courteous Tybalt, honest gentleman, that ever I should live to see thee dead.
What storm is this that blows so contrary? Is Romeo slaughtered, and is Tybalt dead? My dearest cousin and my dear lord? Then dreadful trumpet sound the general doom. For who is living if those two are gone?
Okay, so you see how she got confused? She was ready to hear news about Romeo, and she hears that somebody's dead. And the nurse doesn't tell her it's not Romeo. And then the nurse is talking about Tybalt being dead. So what, are both dead? What's going on?
Tybalt is gone, and Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished.
Oh God, did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood?
It did. Alas the day, it did.
Oh, serpent heart, hid with a flowering face. Was ever book containing such vile matter so fairly bound? Oh, that deceit should dwell in such a gorgeous palace.
It's interesting there, because that's like the first time she questions things.
The only time, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's true, right?
At first, she's like, what? No, Romeo did what? No, how could he?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Is he a good thing or is he a bad thing? She says some things like a serpent heart with a flowering face, a vile matter in such a beautiful book. Like, how can deceit live in such a gorgeous palace? Have I been deceived by this beautiful person who looks so good on the outside? Is he bad on the inside? And I missed that. So she has huge doubts. And the nurse is like, yeah.
Right. There's no trust, no faith, no honesty in men. All perjured, all forsworn, all not, all dissemblers. Shame come to Romeo.
Blistered be thy tongue for such a bit.
And hang on, because you've got whiplash right here. Because Juliet was like, how could he? And the nurse is like, yeah, how could he? And like, and then
you talk about my
don't
man
talk
like that.
about him like that. Yeah, blistered be thy tongue. So she immediately jumps back on the Romeo train.
Yes.
I'm sorry about that.
Blistered be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame. Upon his brow shame is a shame to sit. Oh, what a beast was I to chide at him.
Will you speak well of him that killed your cousin?
Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Ah, poor my lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name, when I, thy 3 hours wife, have mangled it? But wherefore, villain, dost thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin would have killed my husband.
Okay, and there's where she makes her decision in her head. Like, she's like, well, why did you do this? Why would you do? He would have killed you. Okay, she knows Tybalt. Anybody who knew Tybalt would know what kind of person Tybalt was. And he was going to kill Romeo. That's how it happened. It had to be. So this is where she gets her resolve. She's like, how can I talk about you that way? If I'm going to be talking about you that way, anybody would talk about you that way because I'm not your wife.
Yes.
And why did you do it? Oh, because he would have killed you. Okay.
Back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. Your tributary drops belong to woe, which you mistaking offer up to joy. My husband lives, that Tybalt would have slain, and Tybalt's dead, that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort. Wherefore weep I then? Some word there was, worser than Tybalt's death, that murdered me. I would forget it fain, but oh, it presses to my memory like damned guilty deeds to sinners' minds. Tybalt is dead, and Romeo, banished, that one word, banished, hath slain 10,000 Tybalts. Tybalt's death was woe enough if it had ended there, or if sour woe delights in fellowship and needly will be ranked with other griefs. Why followed not, when she said Tybalt's dead, thy father or thy mother, nay, or both? Which modern lamentations might have moved, but with a rear word following Tybalt's death, Romeo is banished. To speak that word is father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, all slain, all slain, all dead. Romeo is banished. There is no end, no limit, measure bound in that word's death. No words can that woe sound. Where is my father and my mother, nurse?
Okay, so this goes from pretty
It's a
good to
mouthful.
bad, actually. At first, she's like, "Oh, I can't talk about you that way. Oh yeah, probably Tybalt would have killed you, so I get it now. All right, I'm crying. Why am I crying? I shouldn't be crying. Actually, it turned out as best it could have because Romeo is alive, but there's this thing that's bugging me. It said he was banished, and banishment means out of her life forever. And she's like, that's worse than Tybalt and both my parents being dead. You may as well say that everybody in my family's dead, and Romeo and I are also dead because banishment is that bad." That seems a bit dramatic, but in her world, she's married somebody that now she can't ever be with, and it kind of breaks her world pretty hard right there at that moment. So I see that she's upset.
Well, and also like because they're married. So in her mind, they're married. So it's not like
Yeah.
she can clean things up and fix it and make like Paris. Well, I mean, she
No.
could have at this point, but she doesn't. Paris, she's not gonna marry Paris. Like she's bringing shame potentially by marrying Romeo, and he's now banned. Like all the things, and she's in love with him. Like all the things.
Yeah. Everything's falling
Aw,
apart for her.
Poor
And so at the end, she's
BB.
like, where's my father and my mother? But she needs to solve some stuff.
Weeping and wailing over Tybalt's corse. Will you go to them? I will bring you thither.
Wash they his wounds with tears. Mine shall be spent when theirs are dry for Romeo's banishment. I'll to my wedding bed, and death, not Romeo, take my maidenhead.
Hie to your chamber. I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I wot well where he is. Hark ye, your Romeo will be here at night. I'll to him. He is hid at Lawrence's cell.
Oh, find him. Give this ring to my true knight, and bid him come to take his last farewell.
Okay, so this was going to go badly. The nurse is like, "Oh, your parents, yeah, they're with Tybalt's body," and Juliet's like, "Well, you know what? I'm gonna die." She just decides. She says that she's going to her wedding bed, and death, not Romeo, take my maidenhead. Now, maidenhead is virginity, just by the way, and she's just saying basically, my wedding night's going to be spent dying. I'm going to kill myself because I just can't go forward with this. And so the nurse immediately stops being mad at Romeo, stops trying to get her to go see her parents, and says, "You know what? Wait, stop.
I'll go get him.
I know where he is." How she knows, I'm not sure. She has sources.
I think so.
So she says, "I know where he is. You wait. I'll go." And then Juliet immediately brightens up a little bit. She's like, "I'll say hello to him.
Maybe I don't have to die tonight.
And here's my ring. Give this to him."
So in this, if we go to our diaries now, some of the words, like up here on just the page we were just reading, 34 there, when the nurse says, weeping and wailing over Tybalt's corse. I mean, I'm guessing corpse, right?
Yeah.
But just an old way, a prolixitous way of saying
yes,
corpse. You talked about that, so that was good. You stopped and talked about some things in Juliet's speech there. What about dissemblers?
Yeah.
Fakers, liars, people who make things out to be what they aren't. They're not assemblers.
They're dissemblers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
What does she mean by modern lamentations? Because lamentations is to
Put it out in there.
Oh, I actually have this here too.
Which modern lamentations might have moved? Wait, so why follow not?
I think that she's like normal. I think she's saying like normally those kinds of things would move you to that kind of grief.
That makes sense. Like, and then also she says in this speech too. So she's talking about some word there was worser than Tybalt's death that murdered me. I would forget it fain. What does that mean?
Okay, so fain would I
forget it not, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
sort of, because when they've used it previously,
Yeah.
it's had that sort of connotation of.
Oh,
Is
I'm
it
not
maybe-
sure in that context.
Is it
how
like
that
would dread
pretend
to
to forget,
forget,
or is it
Yeah,
pretend to forget
well,
it?
no, because it's a different kind of feign.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
Well, that's a good one to bring up. So
Okay.
the actual way to interpret the line though is like, I might have forgotten it, but it's pressed to my memory because I might have. It's like, I would forget it maybe, but
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. That's helpful. Okay. So, and then in this, we only have Juliet and the nurse. And clearly, Juliet at first is like, tell me things, tell me things. Wait,
Mhm.
who's dead? They're both dead? Wait, they're not both dead?
Romeo did what?
Holy
I'm
smokes.
angry with him. Wait, you're not allowed to be angry with him. He's
Yeah.
my husband. He might have died.
Wait, he's banished? That's.
Oh, that's worse. That's worse
And
than
that's
everybody
worse.
in the world dying.
And the nurse, interestingly, like she's also caught. It's funny how she talks about Tybalt in the beginning,
Mhm.
about her closest friend, like somebody
Yeah.
super dear.
And do you
It-
really think that
I
they're very much
don't.
alike?
I
No.
really don't think so, but she's a little overly dramatic, I think, at times.
And he might have been courteous, and he might have
Sure.
been like
polite. He had manners.
Yeah, he was a well-mannered person, and she would have admired Tybalt.
Yeah.
But no, they weren't close or anything. She didn't really mean it that way, I don't think. But of course she's upset. There's somebody in her close circle that was
Mhm.
killed.
Killed by somebody who just married her little girl.
And she enabled that.
The what? Yes.
Yeah.
So she's a bit
Yeah,
conflicted
she's
too.
a little.
But it does show her
she
true
she
mettle.
says that everything's ruined at the beginning. She's
Right.
like, mhm.
But at the end, like the thing that she consistently cares about most is Juliet.
Right. But what she starts it with is, "We are undone, lady. We are undone." So the thing that we have
That
done
you
is
just
we are
done.
messed up.
Oof.
We just got
Yeah.
messed up here. And she's probably feeling guilty and like she's gonna get caught at something bad.
Yeah.
She probably thought that helping these kids get married would get all worked out, because once they were married, the parents would be told, it would solve everybody's problems and no more fighting. And
Yeah.
instead, the opposite has happened. The fighting has already started.
Now it's bad to
Mhm.
find
That's
out.
bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let's end that scene and we'll go on to the next.
Scene 3 coming up.